What's up everybody, it's Master. I'm here again trying to break down another DOA5 video. This time I did get a lot of requests to break down the Akira versus Kasumi video, so that's what this video is going to be about. So let's get right to it. Some things I'm not going to explain again because I've already explained it in previous videos. If you haven't seen them, please go back and check them out so you can get all caught up to speed. But here we go. So the match is about to start, and as soon as it comes in, you can see that this is like a jungle with little platforms. And to be honest with you, when I saw it, I was like, this looks a lot like Virtual Fighter. So I didn't even think of anything as this fight started between Kasumi and Ayane, but I did notice that, it was a nice little jungle. And when Kasumi came out, it just looked really cool. She teleported in. She still has her little petals. And that's something I want to see still play out with other characters, like Hayate have his feathers, Hayabusa have the green leaves, and Ayane having the purple flowers. As Kasumi starts to talk, you notice that there's a lot of details to her. I personally like how Ayane and Kasumi have turned out as characters right now. Hitomi, not liking so much, but Kasumi's looking really good. Yeah, as she talks, you can see the shadow in her lips. Before, her face seemed kind of flat, and she didn't really have much expression. So now there's a lot more expression, and it's looking really good. So let's go ahead and move on. So the match gets started, and Ayane's trying to come in with all kinds of mix-ups. Kasumi isn't having it though, so she just plays defensive, blocks everything she can, and then she launches with her down forward kick. That is an old move that she used to have in DOA2, and it got brought back in DOA Dimensions. We're not sure exactly why it got taken out in DOA4, but now it's back, and it even gives you a better opportunity for a juggle than it did in Dimensions. So it's always good to have moves that are useful like that back in the game. Right after that, Kasumi tries to bring in the pressure still, and two things happen right here. Ayane sidesteps the first jab and gets hit by the second jab. This I don't like because the sidestep becomes too inconsistent. And what I think, in my opinion, is the sidestep should avoid a person that's spamming a string completely. They should automatically commit to the whole area that they're in, and the sidestep should take effect and be successful. But in this case, she sidesteps the first jab, gets hit by the second, and then she holds Kasumi's mid kick. Although Ayane was successful with the mid kick hold, she isn't granted anything. So she's not really in any kind of situation where she can actually get a guaranteed hit, and that kind of bothers me. So I'm hoping that they mess more with the hit statuses, and maybe on high counter she gets something granted, because although it is still a normal mid kick counter, she should be granted for timing it correctly. Now something else happens right after that. Kasumi follows up with her elbow from DOA2 into the cartwheel. That used to be the old string. In DOA4 it used to be, the poke in the middle, so that was interesting. And not only that, the cartwheel doesn't bounce. Not only that, Ayane is back turned, so usually that would bounce. And I noticed that in the DOA demo they did take a lot of ground bounces. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of it. I can understand maybe a couple things that shouldn't ground bounce, but to me, I just thought it was a little awkward that she didn't ground bounce right here. Right after that, Kasumi does her power blow, and at first I thought she switched positions, but she didn't. She's still facing the same direction at the end of her power blow, and it still looks really good. But something to take in consideration is that maybe a power blow could switch positions. Instead of always going the direction you're already facing, maybe you can use a character that goes the opposite way. So maybe if your back's facing the explosive wall, you can do your charge attack, hit them with the power blow, and then flip the script on them and then go the opposite way. That'd be something that I like to see happen, and maybe that's something they might have planned, but I haven't seen it yet. So the match finishes up, and Kasumi does her winning pose and calls it a day. Right after, the screen goes black, and then you hear a voice of a character you may not recognize, but I kind of had an idea who it was when I heard the voice. Then I see the foot, and I was like, oh no, they didn't. No, they didn't just do this. Akira comes out, presents himself, and of course, the match starts up. As you can see, Akira still looks really good, just like he did in Virtual Fighter 5. But what I really like about this crossover they did is that Akira almost looks more powerful, like, because of the rolls that DOA has. That's something that Virtual Fighter doesn't really have a whole lot of. And when he hits you, it seems like you feel those hits, man. I mean, he's hitting you hard, and it just makes him feel like, man, he fits right at home here in the DOA universe. So it just looks really, really good. Let's get back to the match real quick though, because Kasumi does her forward throw, and it seems like it actually grants her something because she teleports instead of jumping over. And then she does her backflip kick. It seems to go into another combo. This is something new, and it seems like it might be her main follow-up. Right after that, Akira guard breaks Kasumi and then does one of his signature moves, and he gets behind you, and it just seems like you can't get out of that. Like, you can't even slow escape. So it seems like he has some of those key moves that once he gets behind you and he finishes the string, you can't stop it. He hits Kasumi into the end of the raft, and he breaks that piece of wood or that thing that was at the end of the raft, and then the raft starts to move. This is part of those active danger zones that start moving around, and now the raft starts moving. So this is interesting how they played this into that. So it's like a regular Virtual Fighter stage, but now it's transforming into the DOA stage. Soon after, it seems like Kasumi does her advanced mid-kick hold, sends Akira into the air, and then does one of her combos into the backflip, and then teleports afterwards with the follow-up. For some reason, I get the vibe that there's a lot of teleportations off her backflip, and that just seems weird because they did a lot of that stuff in DOA4, and I'm getting the idea that this might not actually make it to the final build. It just seems a little weird, and not necessarily cheap, it just seems like it's almost overblown, in my opinion, that after the backflip she always gets something like that. But hey, that's just the vibe I'm getting, that she might not have that in the final build. Soon after, Kasumi comes in with a kick stream that looks like Christie's running kick attack, but instead of doing the second kick, she does a backflip and comes overhead. I'm not sure if that bounces because she blocked it, and it looks like she might actually be safe afterwards because Akira couldn't do anything right off the bat. So not 100% sure on that. Akira comes in with some more attacks, bangs her against the wall, and tries to do a throw that turns her around but doesn't seem to grant Akira anything. Maybe I'll grant something on high counter throw. And then Akira does his different throw that goes into an attack and causes a weird kind of stun, and he follows up afterwards. And right here it's just hard to tell if all that's guaranteed because he's doing some really hard hits, and it's just hard to tell if he's really getting them for free or if the other person was just not playing smart and not stopping him with the counter hold. After that, Akira does his power blow attack. And it's a pretty simple power blow attack, but I personally would have preferred him like maybe kicking you in the air and then doing the same combo. It would have looked probably a little flashier. But at this point, as you can tell, you're already outside. The raft has gone to like the edge of a waterfall, and he knocks Kasumi through this wall, this wooden wall, and then she's hanging on the cliffhanger. He follows up by running and saying a couple of crazy things, and it seems like he's about to knock her down. And then, of course, even though she's on the cliffhanger, the Team Ninja kind of left everybody at a cliffhanger, so we don't know exactly what's at the bottom of that. After that, they showed the Virtual Fighter 5 symbol, and then they showed the DOA5 symbol. I think it's interesting that they did that because they didn't have to do that, and I think they're trying to like imply that there's going to be more Virtual Fighter characters, or that there's going to be some more cross-up going on like in the future. I just find it interesting that they both land on 5, and I know Virtual Fighter 5 is coming out with another version, or they're getting updated right now, so it's interesting how they did that. I guess for now we're just gonna have to wait and see, or just stay happy for now with our demos and see what else Team Ninja has coming up, and hopefully they'll have a lot more to announce during E3, which is like right around the corner at this point. Anyway, I hope you guys liked this video. I'll put it in its purest form so you guys can analyze it. Maybe you guys can tell me something I didn't see, and you know, have at it. Let me know what you think.
邪魔よ。覚悟を決めたわ。Get ready, fight!
!10 年早いんだよ!この時を待ってたぜ! Get ready, fight!